Hello, Scorpio. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Star Tarot by Kathy McLeland. There's a website at the top here, kathymcleland.com. Supportive Oracle Cards. Wisdom of the Hidden Realms Oracle Cards by Colette Baron Reed. There are some websites on the back if you want to freeze frame and grab that information. And also there's another one, Colette's website's here in the back. So feel free to freeze frame, and there's Colette if you want to see what she looks like. I think there's a couple websites in the back there, so have fun if you want to have fun with that. Scorpio. Okay, there's a card. There's a card that fell out, and it's face down, and I want to know what it is, like you wouldn't even believe, which is hilarious because I could just flip it, but for some reason I'm not. What is going on? This is like, why is this so drawn out? It's like, it feels like it's taking up all this space. I'll leave that like that. You get the World and the Death card coming in. If you want that, that's good. Like, if, okay. All right, there's two cards here. What are they? This what? Like, what is this situation? Like, seriously. Overall, strategizing and the Queen of Cups. Which, when we get into this, you gotta, I feel like they're saying, yeah, keep going back to where you want this to end up and remind yourself, is this getting me there? I feel like we're going to do this to the whole thing. Strategizing? I don't know. Scorpio can. Like, you guys are great with secrets. So strategizing, I don't usually think of Scorpio as strategizing. I feel of them more as like intuitively moving forward and just knowing what they need to do and just kind of flowing with it. Just kind of like having that sixth sense working to their advantage and just kind of listening to that inner feeling like, okay, don't say this, do say that, move forward now, go this way now. Like, you just seem to roll with it. You just kind of flow with it usually when you're really, when Scorpio is in line with their own energy, just to be fair. Whatever this is, it's all about ending up where you want to be. Like, seeing that goal, where I want to be long term, and keep reminding myself, am I headed in that direction by doing this? If I'm going to tell this person what I'm going to say to them, does that get me closer to that, or is that going to be a new obstacle that I then have to deal with later? Is that going to slow my progress? Is this business? Maybe for some of you. I'm not feeling a lot of business. I'm not seeing pentacles, really. I'm not. So, this card showing up later is also, like, it feels like we're starting from the end and moving backwards. You should win out on this situation. Am I right? The Death card is your card, but it's also like a big change. Scorpio can cause a lot of big changes. Very dynamic energy, right? 6 of Fire, which is success, and what's the 7, which is the Chariot. You can have what you want here. It's just don't... The only person that can effectively get in your way is literally you, is what I'm getting. Take it with a grain of salt, of course, but like, literally you're the only one that can get in your way. I feel like I've said this a lot in my own life. Like, the person who has the biggest impact on me is me. The person who drives me the most crazy is me. Like I've said that. I don't know how much Scorpio I have in my chart, quite frankly. I like Scorpio energy. I get along with Scorpio energy great. It just, I like them. But I feel like I do this. Like, this feels similar to me. Kind of like, my biggest challenge in life is myself. Nobody has power over me like I have power over me. And whenever things get really rough, it's me who does it to myself. It's always that way. I don't know. Maybe that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't. But we're going to keep moving forward. And I am seeing, like, you have compatible cards. You, like... The Chariot came up in the dice, but you have, with the dice, you have all 3 signs here. You have your sign, you have Cancer, and you have Pisces with the moon. And even if you want to argue, the moon in astrology talks about Cancer. So there's a lot of energy here where you're in your element. You're literally in your element. And the only thing you got to worry about is you getting in your own way. The Tower card is like playing around you, playing around you. Now, I feel like the situation can be quite sensitive. But it's not a definite that things are going to fall apart. This is kind of like looking at a house that's not doing too well. It's a little rickety. And it's kind of like you have the choice to evaluate it, look at it, reinforce the structure, correct things that need to be corrected before you invite people in. But the tower's looming here saying, or you could ignore that, and this house is a little rickety, and just invite people in, and there's going to be problems, things are going to fall in. The situation is not able to support the people that need to be there yet. So it's kind of like, is this going to go well, or are we going to have to like have the situation fall in and then deal with the outcome of that and then fix things after? You are in, like, you have a lot of power here. The only person that can get in your way is literally you. This one. Strategizing. This is the Emperor. That's Aries energy sometimes. The reason I'm saying that is because that's known for strategizing. It's also known for hot temper. I'll give you that, I know. But there's a lot of strength. There's a lot of, if they want to, they hold back when they want to. You do have that control. If you've decided it's worth your time, that's the trigger here too. If you keep looking forward towards your goal and you're like, that's what I'm going to have, that gives you all the control in the world. If you decide, I'm not going to do that because I want this and that's going to give me a hard time, it's going to make that harder for me to get that. If you make the decision you're not going to do it, then you won't do it. You're in control of you. You're the only one who can get in your way. I keep getting that. Now, this card came up, the Sacred Partnership, with the Three of Cups. I almost feel like I should just let you decide what that means. I should just let you decide what that means. Because this seems to be where you're headed. Something very beautiful, something that makes sense. For some of you, I feel like it has something to do with your partner and getting along better with people connected to them. Some of you are definitely single. Because not everybody's in a relationship in the world. I mean, not for nothing. This could bring a very close connection to you. Romantic partner? Possible. Very strong ally? Very possible. But bringing somebody into your life that you want in your life is basically what I'm getting there. Somebody that you want to be there. This could bring you more connections with people that you maybe didn't have before. I don't want to say it's bringing in love, especially with that Three of Cups, but I'm feeling like a stronger ally, which could be romantic. It does say sacred union, I'll give you that. It does say romance on that card, it does. But I'm not getting that it has to be romance. I'm getting like somebody coming into your life, like a strong ally, somebody you can depend on, you know, somebody who kind of sees things, either they see them your way or they can sympathize with that enough to where they have your back, that type of thing. Somebody you can confide in and talk about things with when you want to. What is this? This can be a compatible card for y'all too. It's the Devil card. It can be a compatible card. Water tends to go with Earth quite well. This talks about an Earth energy. But it's saying pulling back. Wanting to... There's going to be things here that you're going to want to do that you're not... You're just going to want to do that they aren't the best. And you're going to know what that is. You're going to know flat out what that is. And you're going to be like, I could, but what does that do to my goal? And you just got to pull back. Scorpio also, like, if you're going to do it, I feel like you guys are now or never people. Am I wrong? I feel like you guys are now or never. If you want to do it, you do it in the moment. If you walk away from it, you're probably not going to come back to it unless somebody's really made you angry. That's a whole nother story. If somebody made you angry, you might pull back from it for a while. And then later, that's something else. But if somebody has made you literally angry, that's a different story. This is kind of like on the whim. If you're feeling something on a whim, and you're like, I could do this, I could do that, but you walk away. If it's just a whim, it'll fade away. If somebody's made you angry, that's a whole nother story. If somebody's engaged you in some type of passionate way, I should say that. Because the more I'm saying anger, I'm like, well, there's other instances. If there's some passionate connection, you could be inspired to do it again later. But I feel like whatever they're saying is like the problems here seem like they're short lived, and I feel like if you walk away, you don't come back to it. It seems like it's just impulsive things. Walking away from impulsive things is what I'm more feeling. Because I don't feel when I feel that devil card, I feel like it's more like in the moment every now and then you could end up getting in your way. But if you just don't and you walk away from it, the next day you're just kind of whatever, and you won't think about it again. You won't want to come back to it later. Because I don't feel any emotional connection, like somebody made you angry, or there's something where I feel like this is what I need to do, and I don't feel that drive here. So if it's just impulsive, it will fade away. If it's not impulsive, there's a book, How to Mend Your Broken Heart by Paul McKenna. I highly recommend it. If you decide you shouldn't do something, but you keep feeling you have the urge to do it, just to be fair. Yeah, but in this situation, I don't feel emotional connection to whatever this negative action might be, because it's the devil card. I mean, it is. It's impulsive. It's kind of like when somebody gets in your way and you don't like them, and you just have a moment you could really tell them off, but you don't need to. And if you tell that person off, it may not be about that person. It may be about other people who overhear you ripping somebody apart. I was in my 20s when this happened. It only happened once in my life. That I ripped somebody apart in front of other people, and I lost friends, not because they had anything to do with the situation, but because they saw how bad my temper can be. And they're like, well, no. And I'm like, okay. I don't know. I'm just saying other people might see you tell somebody off, and it might not have anything to do with them as much as they don't like what they saw and how you acted. And it might cause a roadblock for you that you don't need. It just might cause a roadblock that's not necessary. Yeah, somebody's judging you. This is why you want to hold back on this type of stuff too. Somebody is judging you, and if they overhear you or they watch you have a moment where you're just doing what you feel is right, they might judge it differently, and they might become a roadblock, and they might cause a hurdle that you don't need. It's kind of, I just feel this person setting up a bunch of hurdles in your way that you could possibly overcome anyway, but you don't really enjoy, and you don't want these hurdles. It's kind of like, when you're looking to get done what you want to get done, you want to get there, do it, and move on. You don't want to deal with all the ridiculousness on the way. This person could set up a lot of hurdles for you that you just don't want. It's like, instead of something happening in 3 days, it takes 3 months. It's kind of like that type of aggravation. Like, I could have had this in 3 days, but because so-and-so is, bent out of shape about something I said, I had to get through this and go over these hurdles. It took me 3 months before I finally got something I should have had in 3 days. It feels like a lot of wasted effort. It's just like, that's annoying. Like, if you think about it, when I think about it for Scorpio, when you want what you want, you want what you want. You don't want to take 3 months to get something you want today. If I want a pizza, for example, maybe I can't have it today, but if I could have it in 3 days, I'm very happy. If I have to wait 3 months for a pizza, which I know is a very simple analogy, but that's aggravating. Like, I had to wait a whole 3 months for a stupid pizza. You're kidding me. But I really wanted it. Yeah, you're the only person that can get in your way. There's stress to get through this. Also, try to pay attention to who this is if you can figure it out. Because I noticed it was face down. This card fell out. This person is not very apparent. Like, if you think you know who this is, take it with a grain of salt, I know. They're saying you don't. It's not somebody that you already notice. It's somebody you don't notice. That's what they're trying to say. They're like, yeah, you notice when people don't have the best attitude towards you. This one kind of flies under the radar. They're not seen yet. They want you to figure out who this person is before they're a problem. Once you see who they are, you'll be fine. But that's the trick with this too. There's somebody, judging you that you don't see, and that could cause you problems. Once you see them, you'll deal with them the way you need to deal with them. But they're saying you don't see them yet. You literally don't see them yet. Yeah, you notice others, and there's others around you who have attitude, and you notice them. Yep, true, granted, but you don't see everybody, and there's somebody else out here who's being a problem, or maybe that's the thing too. Their energy hasn't really come towards you. So until they see how you react to something, it's dormant. They don't really have a reaction. Because I keep thinking, like, Scorpio is very intuitive. I'm like, I'm surprised you don't see it. But they're saying because the action hasn't happened, like the reaction, they don't have an emotional reaction to you yet. Because they don't have an emotional reaction to you yet, it's not triggering anything. When they do have an emotional reaction to you, that's when it triggers something, and then you'll probably like catch on to it. But until that emotional reaction happens, you won't know that they're there. Yeah, you had a whole new phase coming in, whatever's coming into. Whatever you're going towards, it does seem to be bringing in a whole new phase. I know this one card is your card, but I still feel these two coming in together, to me, talks about a big phase shift. This is when you move to a whole nother, like this is where you move like 500 miles away, or when, you start taking college courses to get a whole new degree to change your profession. This is sometimes, to me, this is when a baby is born, when the two of these are together, because that's like that when that change happens, life never goes back to the way it was. I swear, even if a person gives a child up for adoption, they're literally never the same after that. They're just never the same. It will change your life, even if you don't end up raising that child yourself, whoever the child is. It's still, your life is never the same. It always changes who the person is, and that's like, I'm just giving, like, there's whatever this is, there's a major change happening to where before and after life doesn't feel the same, and that's what you're going towards. And they're like, hold on to your goal. If you're going to have one of these big changes like this, hold on to your goal and make sure it's the way you want it to be. You know what I mean? Because it's like, whatever this change is, it's going to stick around for a while, and it needs to be in your benefit the way you want it. But yeah, it's going to stick. This new change coming in, definitely going to stick for a while. The Four of Pentacles is backing it up. I don't know how I didn't see that before. It's going to be around for quite a while. So it needs to go in your favor because it's going to be there for a long time. Are we good? All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below with the same email. Thank you again for watching, and have a great day.